But a weakness that has crept into the Rosenkavalier is an irritatingly intrusive duenna, whose business is, or should be, to sit quiet at the back of the stage and not to try to be funny.
Now, we've been talking about the performances at Glyndebourne, PG, but apart from Anneliese Rothenberger, who you heard in Rosenkavalier there, you haven't mentioned any other artists. Can you think of anyone else who has impressed you in recent years as being in the great tradition?
You mean in any opera?
Yes.
Oh. Well, of course, when Crispin first sang at Glyndebourne, I, for my part, I didn't know who she was. I don't see other people did. But I thought she was magnificent. She sang with such pathos and beautiful style. Now, the other princesses I heard were not outstandingly good. Some had the voice, but they hadn't got the pathos, and they hadn't got the I hadn't got what the part really required to make it a great performance. And I think Crispin had.
Can you imagine her as Sieglinde in...
Oh, yes.
Yes. She's just recorded that. Now, I would like to play you this because, for one thing, I want you to hear a bit of this recording of Die Walküre, which has just been issued, and I would very much appreciate your comments on her performance as Sieglinde, because I know you heard some of the very great ones in the past.
No, yes, I heard it a lot.
Well, let's just listen to it, shall we? Now, PG, you've heard Crespin's Sieglinde, the Du bist Talents. What did you feel about it?
Well, I thought it was charming. It's so girlish. And that's the first impression I got. It's very pure and very girlish, very well, it's just girlish. That's how it seemed to me.
Yes, which is right for the part.
Yes.
And from a style point of view, you admired her style in Rosenkavalier. Did you feel this was equally good?
I think so. I think so. Different music, of course, but yes, I think it's very good indeed.
Yes. Now, you've mentioned differences of production in a number of cases. You said, for example, that Carmen at Covent Garden you went to see. I remember distinctly you're saying that in the traditional performances that you'd heard, the entrance of Escamillo in the second act was made a very important thing, and he was always dressed, perhaps not strictly speaking, correctly, but dramatically correctly, in very bright clothes, so that he immediately became the centre of attraction.
Well, yes, yes. Whereas the man who we heard at Covent Garden, he might have been an insurance clerk touting for business. I mean, as to his being the great Escamillo, it was absurd. And he sang all right, but nothing. I don't know who it was even.
Did you hear any great singer in the past as Escamillo? Do you remember who was Escamillo in the Caruso Carmens?
Amato.
Oh, yes.
He wasn't... he sang very nicely. But otherwise, I was very unfortunate. There was a shocking fellow there who monopolized the role of Escamillo. That was in the days of Maria Gay.
Oh, yes.
And he wasn't good. He wasn't good at all. But he was always there.
You mentioned Amato, PG, and I don't think you were entirely impressed with him as a singer. I thought, on the other hand, we might play a record, and I suggest the Largo Factotum. And in this case, it might be an idea if we hear it first, and then you make some comments afterwards. Would you like to do that?
Well, if I can.
Yes. Well, we'll play it then, and then after that, you say what you think.
Yes.
Resta bottega che date già fresco. Ah, che bel vivere, che bel piacere, che bel piacere. Per un barbiere, oh, di qualità, di qualità. Ah, bravo Figaro, bravo, bravissimo, bravo. Fortunatissimo per verità, bravo! Fortunatissimo per verità, fortunatissimo per verità, la 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 la. Sembra d'intorno in chi lo sa, miglior cucagna per un barbiere, vita più nobile non si dà. La 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 la. Razzoli effetti mi lasciate forbici, al mio comando tutto si sa. Razzoli effetti mi lasciate forbici, al mio comando tutto si sa. Bella risorsa, poi del mestiere. Col cavaliere, con la donnetta, la 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 lera, col cavaliere, la 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 la. Ah, che bel vivere, che bel piacere, che bel piacere. Per un barbiere, oh, di qualità, di qualità. Tutti mi chiedono, tutti mi vogliono, donne ragazzi, vecchi fanciulle, qua la parrucca, presso la barba, qua la sanguigna, affretta il biglietto, tutti mi chiedono, tutti mi vogliono, tutti mi chiedono, tutti mi vogliono, qua la parrucca, presso la barba, affretta il biglietto, ehi, oh, Figaro, 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 oh, Figaro, 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 ahimè, che furia, ahimè, che folla, una alla volta, per carità, per carità, per carità, una alla volta, una alla volta, una alla volta, per carità. Ehi, Figaro, ascolta qua, ehi, Figaro, ascolta qua, Figaro qua, figaro là, figaro qua, figaro là, figaro su, figaro giù, figaro su, figaro giù. Santa prontissima, sotto quel fulmine, il passato della città, della città, della città, della città, della città. Bravo Figaro, bravo bravissimo, bravo Figaro, bravo bravissimo, fortunatissimo, 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 in verità. La 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 la. A te fortuna, non mancherà. Io sono il fatum della città, sono il fatum della città, della città, della città, della
There's no dispute at all. It is a most exciting performance, and his notes come through clear, and it's all on the lips. It's all just as it should be. It's magnificent. But I have heard it said that he is a gramophone singer.
Yes.
And not necessarily so good on the stage. Well, my impression was, the only time I heard him, which was in Carmen, that he was overweighted in the Toreador song. But on the other hand, in the small duet in the fourth act, he was very charming indeed, sang it beautifully, and hardly believed the same singer. But then, of course, he hadn't got anything to contend with.
Well, now, at your present age, what is your general feeling towards music? Do you find it as fascinating as ever? Does it occupy as much of your time?
No, I'm sorry to say I don't. I find myself drifting towards the manner of performance rather than to the music itself. In fact, I think I've always done so to some extent, but now more than ever. I'm very keen on perfection of singing. I'm afraid more than I am keen on the music itself. I'm not saying that I'm tired of the old stock pieces, but as I've made no attempt to keep myself up to date, I've made no progress, if that is the right word, in my musical education. I have no regrets on that score, as I frankly hate contemporary music, and I should be sorry to think that with perseverance I might accustom myself to it. I don't want to.
I know you're a great admirer of Plançon as a bass on records. Now, do you think we could play a record of his that you can say something about that would appeal to you particularly? I have most of his. I have the Tambon Majeur. Do you like that? Or the Chalet? Or
the Chalet is marvellous, isn't it?
Chalet or Le Corps?
The Corps is beautiful, yes.
Which would you like to hear?
And then there's the magic flute arias.
Oh, yes.
They're magnificent too.
Yes, I've got all these. Which would you like to hear?
Well, it's Embarras de Richesse.
Well, I think one that would be very entertaining at the moment. What about the Porter song from Marta? I think that's got rather nice connections, don't you? It's,
yes.
Would you like to hear that?
Yeah, very much. It's a very nice one.
It is. It's a beautiful trill at the end, if you remember.
Yes, I do.
lo vuol. E doveva saper che ci manca nel bicchier e che il brigano remedi al fier e mi britano.
Who would you say was your favourite composer?
Nowadays?
Yes, the one that you would listen to most often.
I think that must be a matter for one's mood, don't you? Mozart seems to be much in favour these days. In fact, one can hardly avoid listening to him if you switch on your wireless. I'm not sure the BBC are not rather overplugging him, but that's a matter of taste. I think that Wagner had a greater hold on me, anyhow, for a matter of 20 years, and that's a long time. Nowadays, I prefer Elgar to any composer, meaning the major orchestral works and the violin concerto. And I'll stick my neck out to the extent of saying that I think that concerto is the finest of any and barring none.
Do you really? Which is your favourite opera?
Oh, well now. Well now. In the course of a long life, I think I've had a good many favourites. But I think on the whole that, especially while I am listening to it, that the perfect opera, allowing for vagaries in interpretation, is Mozart's Figaro. I should have liked to have said Don Giovanni, but I've heard this work so mangled and messed about so many times that I can no longer think of it as in the days of Breno and Destin. At the other end of the scale, I must confess to a great love for Traviata. Also for Pagliacci, as I remember it, with Ancona to sing the prologue.
Now look, I have Ancona's record. Shall we hear it?
Well, I don't think it's characteristic of the way it doesn't remind me of him.
Who do you think? Who made the finest record of the prologue that you know? Can you think of anybody who would like to
of the old timers? Of the old timers, I'd say Scotti.
Well, let's play Scotti's. I've got it.
In your
PG, I believe you were the very first to broadcast a programme of early rarities. I expect you felt some anxiety as to how it would go across, didn't you?
Oh, yes. That is quite true. To both questions. I can't begin to tell you how anxious I was. The BBC gave me 3/4 of an hour, the peak hour of the evening, in fact. So they, anyhow, were confident that it would go. I put in a good little patter, and the programme was almost wholly confined to the old red label G&Ts. I had the honour of being announced by Stuart Hibbert, who explained something about this new departure, and at the end I was asked to call at the announcers' common room, where I made the acquaintance of Fred Griswood. There were several appreciative telephone calls from utter strangers, and very many postcards and letters, and I've kept most of them to this day. In fact, it had gone down quite well, and I think it was the best of my series. I remember asking Hibbert what he did when off duty, and hearing him say that he generally listened to the programmes. But conditions were different then. The announcer used to speak over the broadcaster's shoulder, direct into the mic. And there was always somebody I knew when I arrived, but before long it became more mechanized, and the announcer's voice was merely a voice in a loudspeaker, and no fun at all. And the novelty of the thing began to wear thin, and I was relegated to afternoons.
Oh, yes. Well, now, I do remember listening to that first programme. It must have been about 35 years ago, though.
1934.
34?
Yes.
Oh, yes. And I remember one of the records that you played, and I'm sure the Society would like to hear, because we don't hear it very often, was Albani's Angels.
Oh, yes.
So it might be a good idea to put that on.
Yes.
Now, you have spoken and written at considerable length about the Angels. Can you tell us something of how you feel about it, its merits?
Well, I don't know whether it's good handled or not, but I think it's very good singing.
Yes.
Although she does things, I know, she does things which aren't approved of in these austere days, but it's a very joyous performance. I enjoy it very much, and I still do. It was one of my first major finds. I got it at the Gramophone Exchange, a perfect copy, and I still get great pleasure out of hearing it.
You said that she puts up technical obstacles merely to overcome them.
Well,
This is true, I think, isn't it?
I think so.